Hey everyone, what's up? Today, I'm going to showcase the legendary potential system in Last Epoch and explain how you can use this system to create some of the best and most unique items in the game, referred to as legendary items. What is legendary potential? Legendary potential is a value that can populate on unique items, which allows the item to be modified to add additional affixes from a separate exalted item based on how much legendary potential the unique item has. For each unique item you find, the legendary potential is randomly assigned anywhere between 0 and 4. The amount of legendary potential a unique item will have is based on the rarity of the unique item itself, with very rare items having an even rarer chance to spawn with any legendary potential, let alone higher amounts. For example, let's take the Red Ring of Laria, which has a random drop chance of extremely rare for Last Epoch tools. On top of the actual red ring drop being extremely rare, you can see how the legendary potential amounts also increase in rarity based on the higher the value is. What do we actually do with legendary potential? It is used to create legendary items using the Eternity Cache. The Eternity Cache is accessed after completing the Temporal Sanctum dungeon, which I'll explain in more detail later in the video. The way the Eternity Cache works is you add a unique item with 1 plus legendary potential available on it, along with an exalted item, and depending on how much legendary potential the unique item has, the same number of affixes will be randomly merged onto the unique item, creating a legendary item. If a unique item has 4 legendary potential, which is extremely rare, all 4 affixes from the exalted item will transfer. This process can only be completed once per dungeon run, and the legendary item created is final and cannot be undone. Temporal Sanctum. Now, let's talk about how you access the Eternity Cache. As previously mentioned, the Eternity Cache is accessed via completion of the Temporal Sanctum dungeon. To access the Temporal Sanctum dungeon, you first need a Temporal Sanctum key. Once you have a key, you can actually right-click on the key, which will open up a map showing you the Temporal Sanctum waypoint. Once you have accessed the Temporal Sanctum via waypoint, you can simply walk up to the large door, drag and drop the key into the key slot, and click Enter Sanctum. This dungeon has 4 different levels, which unlock after successfully completing the previous tier. Each tier has a unique item level requirement cap on which items can be modified in the Eternity Cache, with higher dungeon tiers allowing higher unique items. The dungeon itself is actually really fun and interesting, and is uniquely centralized around the game's primary theme of time travel. As you move through the dungeon, you can press the letter D to move back and forth between different timelines, which allows you to pass through barriers in the previous era and eventually locate the door needed to advance to the next level of the dungeon. Once you reach the boss, you will also need to use this time travel mechanic, as she will cast a one-shot AoE attack that is unavoidable without quickly switching realms. Once the boss is defeated, you can now craft your amazing new legendary item by first placing your unique and exalted items into the Eternity Cache in the Divine era, and then shifting to the Ruined era to claim your item. Weaver's Will. While crafting a legendary item is an amazing feeling, it isn't the only way to access legendary items in this game. There is also a mechanic called Weaver's Will, which is a value that can also randomly spawn on unique items when you find them. Weaver's Will has a number range between 5 and 28, which determines the total power potential of an item. The higher the number, the more upgrades it can get. Differing from crafting a legendary item, where you get to at least pick the exalted item, Weaver's Will is much more RNG based. Weaver's Will power potential is simply accessed by equipping the item and then killing monsters. As you gain experience, additional Weaver's Will is converted into additional affixes on your item. First, once it levels up, it will randomly add a new tier 1 affix from the pool of possible affixes for that item type. Once the first affix is added, the next level has a chance to either level up the tier of that current affix or add a new tier 1 affix. This process continues as you kill monsters and gain XP until the Weaver's Will value is fully depleted from the item, which will have given that item its full Weaver's Will power potential. As you've seen in this video, the legendary potential system in Last Epoch is one of the more innovative and unique ways to upgrade your gear in any ARPG. They could have easily stopped with just having unique items like other ARPGs, but they said, nah, let's do something that hasn't been seen before. If this video has been helpful, please let me know in the comments below, and I look forward to finally playing Last Epoch with all of you during launch next week.